Ghosting. So, what is it? Ghosting is basically the practice of ignoring somebody. So, you send something, you send a text message, you send an email, or in this case, a job application, and you get nothing. Nothing positive, nothing negative, just nothing. You're in purgatory. What's going on? This is happening more and more. Why? Well, here's why. A few years ago, there'd be about 50 applications for the same job that you were applying for. A human would go through each of them, they'd reject them because they were in the wrong location, they didn't have the right experience, whatever, for whatever reasons. And as those declines were happening, they would system reject. So you would tick the button and you would decline that person, and it would go, a rejection would come, an email rejection would come. Now, what's happening is that each job is getting three, four, 500, even 1,000 applications. I know it's bonkers. Not all from qualified people, you'll be pleased to know. There's still probably about 50 people in there that belong there. But what's happening is that the systems are shoving up to the top the better applications and suppressing the not so good applications. How does it know that? By keywords, and I'll link a video to tell you a little bit more about that. But these ones go to the top, and so the recruiter starts at the top, and they go through 50 applications, and they found five decent people in there that they're sending forward to interview. All the other people, the other 45, have been rejected. They've been declined because of location, whatever. Now, the rest of those people, the rest of the 250, 300, 400 applications are now sat in purgatory. They're in this haystack. The recruiter is not going to decline all of these because actually, if these five don't work out, I need to go back to this pile. But then this pile just sit there and sit there and sit there. And 2 months later, you get your decline. And that's because the person's tidying up their database, closing down their jobs, whatever's happening in there. Or you might just sit there. When I used to recruit, I used to clear down my jobs really quickly, get rid of all the people that didn't belong in there, and, close down the job. It had one person left in it. That was it, closed. Now, but I also worked with people who didn't clean their database, who didn't clear down all the people. So that is what's happening. You're sat in there. You need to be in that top 10%. And how you can get in there is by tailoring your CV. Now, again, I'll link the video about why you need to do it. But this is not just adding in a couple of keywords here and there. It's not just like, oh, they're asking for Excel, I'll chuck the word Excel in there. We are talking about serious forensic grade tailoring to your document, making sure all the keywords and phrasing is in there, making sure that we're doing as much as we can to get in that top 10%. Because if you're not, you're in purgatory. You're in the haystack. You're in this group of people that are not getting called. You are being ghosted. If you're being rejected, the chances are your CV is being seen by a person and they are rejecting you. And then you can think to yourself, well, why am I being rejected? Like, is it because I've done a lot of contracting and maybe they're looking for somebody with a solid work history? We can solve that. It's no problem. Are they, is the job an internal, they've done it internally, or, they found a better candidate. Maybe I'm not getting out there as my level, or I haven't got the achievements in there, or whatever those things might be. If you're getting declined, you need to ask yourself, a person seeing this, why am I being declined? If you're being ghosted, you're not even being seen by a person. You may as well have not applied. You may as well have sat, put your feet up and watched TV. There's literally there was no point you doing it. And I know that's harsh, especially when you feel like you might have spent ages on that job description, on that job, the CV for the job. But what you need to realise is that if you're being ghosted, you're not being seen, and you must do everything you can to be seen. In the 45-day sprint, we help you get seen. We do CV tailoring. And it's not just about creating a CV. Anyone can do that. CVs are so subjective, like, the font, how big the margins are, all of that stuff is irrelevant, to be honest. It's about getting those keywords in there for every single job. and how to do that in 20 minutes, not spending hours and hours on it. That's what we do. We talk about networking, how to activate your network so that not only are you applying for that job, but you've got referrals coming in and you are able to go around the back confidently without being demanding or desperate. And we also do interview prep as well. If you're getting interviews and you're not getting the job, the problem is your interview. If you're not getting that job, something is going wrong in that interview process that we need to fix. And so that's where the interview prep session comes in. There's also lots of community, 2 community calls a week. And what we're finding is that our people are getting a job in an average of 42 days. And this is people who've been out of work for an average of 8.5 months. So if you're sick of being in purgatory, if you're sick of being in the haystack and you're sick of being ghosted, it might be time to give me a call and talk about the 45-day sprint. There is nothing worse than feeling ignored, but let's use it to our advantage. Let's use all the data from ghosting, how many interviews you're getting, and all of that to make sure that we can get you in your next job as quickly as possible. So get in touch. The link for the sprint is below, and where you can book a call and we can have a chat about it. But don't get ghosted. Have a great day.